I was excited this morning to watch breakdancing.
Breakdancing was like the dopest new ad to it.
It's not.
It was like the dope one.
They thought it was cool and they walk out.
You can breakdance. You can't breakdance though. There he is.
Ooh, I can't breakdance.
9. What's up, baby?
What's happening with you? He run you over, Chan. Oh. He run you over. And he was like way more athletic than you too.
Why you always want to badmouth me when the guests come around?
Because I'm the only other one that played defense. And I won't badmouth myself.
We know he'll run past you, for sure.
It'll be a couple balls go over my hand.
Hold up, limitless, niggas to me can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm finna get me up. On the mission, get me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Trust, limitless, niggas to me can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm finna get me up. On the mission, get me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Trust, limitless, niggas to me can't pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm finna get me up.
Man, appreciate you, Joe Burrow. This is Channing Crowder, Fred Taylor. I'm Ryan Clark. Welcome to the Pivot, a part of Fanatics, part of our training camp tour. First of all, man, thank you for giving us the time. Understand how important this time is to you. We talked a couple of times this offseason, and you mentioned to me, I know what it is when I'm out there. I know what I can do when I'm out there. And that's a 2019 National Championship and Heisman Trophy. It's an AFC Championship win and a Super Bowl appearance. It's another AFC Championship appearance, but there have been injuries that have kept you from being able to do that consistently. Just from a mental, emotional, physical standpoint, how difficult has it been to deal with some of those injuries that's taking you away from the field?
Yeah, it's hard because, you guys know all the work that goes into going out there and playing really well and playing to the level that you expect yourself to play, and then when it's taken from you, it's always a difficult thing to go through mentally and physically. Fortunately, physically, this one wasn't quite as bad. Mentally, it was worse because you feel good, but you can't do what you need to do on the field. So I was able to continue to do my training, running, lifting. So that was easier than my knee, but mentally it was tough.
Everybody talks about your consistency, your accuracy, like what you have as a quarterback. Those natural abilities or proven abilities are there, but it's like you're saying, it's wrist, it's knee, it's this, it's that. The preparation of being ready to be out there, because if you're out there, I'll kiss your ass a little bit. You be balling.
Yeah.
So what? Moving forward, knowing it's not just, I was a knee guy. He had bad insides. Fred used to get injured. He don't got a spleen and shit like that. But just getting ready, like mentally saying, I just have to be ready. If I'm healthy, I'm winning national championships, I'm going to the playoffs, I'm winning playoff games.
Yeah, I think this offseason I've kind of taken a step back and made sure I gave my body a little more time than in the past. I would say in the past, if something was nagging, I was like, oh, I can push through that. I can go get my workout in. No big deal. And usually it was no big deal, but sometimes it became a big deal. So I definitely took some more time off this offseason as compared to in the past.
With the injuries and that part being frustrating for you, I think you've shown great leadership in just being present. Even down in Jacksonville when you guys came down there a year ago, you banged up, you injured, knowing you weren't going to play. You could have easily stayed behind. But your presence and just being there helping the other guys, prep and showing that sort of leadership away from the field, how important is that for you to be available in that sense?
Yeah, that's part of the job of being the quarterback, head of the franchise, whatever you want to call it. Whether you're out there or not, I think you have to be present and make sure that the team can continue to succeed without you. And also that was more so for me, still being around the guys, still, acting like I was involved, trying to help Jake any way that I could. He does a great job for me on game day, pointing things out, so I just tried to do the same thing for him and help facilitate his success, and he did a great job. That was fun to watch. Right. It's just fun being around football. That's being home watching it is not as fun, I'm sure, as you guys know.
Yeah. Right.
Just being around the guys means a lot to me.
What is a Snickers salad? When you're playing, I guess you can't eat Snickers salad as much as you can if you're rehabbing. And
that's something my mom makes.
What goes into Snickers salad?
Cool Whip, vanilla pudding, apples, and Snickers.
What do the apples do in a Snickers salad?
Add some sweetness. Some freshness. I'll get my mom to make you some.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to try that.
You ever freeze the Snickers?
No, I've never done
You've
that.
never eaten a frozen Snicker bar? That's the best.
That's yours, huh?
It's the best. Okay. So I'll try the Snicker salad if you try frozen Snickers.
All right, that's a deal.
But be careful. Don't chew with the front teeth.
I was gonna say that sounds a little hard.
They'll go quick.
The step back for a guy, if we look at the destination, the Heisman Trophy, the #1 overall pick, the success in the league, the contract, it seems that it's sort of been a destined route for you to be a star, but it wasn't always that for you, even having to transfer from O State to LSU. And I was there that first year. It wasn't this high level of success. So you become a grinder, a worker. Yeah. How difficult is it to take a step back and think, I need to preserve my body for availability when I'm used to those reps being so important?
Yeah, it's been difficult. It's a great way to put it. You know, all I had was that grind for, it felt like so long. It was, 3 years, 4 years. That was all I had. I wasn't playing on the field, so my, growth as a player wasn't shown anywhere but practice. And so all I had was working out in the weight room, running, getting my body the way that I wanted it. And so I got really good at that. And then continued that and continued to get better and better and better. And then at some point, there's some diminishing returns on the back end of that. And so that's kind of what I realized this offseason was, if my body's telling me, hey, you need a day, I'm going to take that day. Or I'm going to take a little longer weekend. Or I'm going to go on a little trip and get my body right. Or I'm going to take it a little easier today. I'm not going to squat heavy today. I'm going to go a little lighter in the weight room. So that's been, you grow and evolve every year, and that's kind of been my growth this year.
Was part of that growth wearing your whole back out in the fashion show?
You like that?
I see. Joey B, man, what was the process of when they gave you your outfit for the fashion show? When you put it on?
Went in for the fitting, and they were like, this is what we would like you to wear. You can wear a shirt under it or no shirt under it. And I thought no shirt under it looked better.
Do you see yourself as a trendsetter? Because, like, the way I see it, I haven't seen, like, a smoke or a cigar anywhere near football since Tom Landry smoking on the sideline. That night after you guys won the national championship in the infamous photo of you smoking a cigar in the locker room. Since then, I see players on all these teams, certainly like Max Crosby, the Raiders, these guys smoke cigars after they win. Do you consider yourself a trendsetter?
I kind of just do shit that I think is cool and makes me happy. And sometimes it turns out that way, sometimes it doesn't. Wear what I want, do what I want. Just, life's not that serious, You just do stuff that makes you happy and stuff that you enjoy doing with your friends, and sometimes stuff works out for you.
Many people say that 2019 LSU team is the best team in college football. One, do you personally agree with that?
I think we would have been tough to beat, for sure.
Yeah. Even the 03 Michigan.
03 Michigan? I don't know. I've never heard of the 03 Michigan.
Heard that school from the north?
Not 03 Michigan, but the 23 Michigan team, 15-0.
Gotcha.
And I think Bama 22 was probably 14-1, and then Georgia 20.
There's definitely some good ones, but
you think? Well, I mean, but you're biased. You're biased.
What did you say?
I said y'all beat them all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got mad at me. Nah,
I think we'll see. I think it'll become clearer as people's NFL careers continue to play out. Like, you talk about the 02 Hurricanes, they have all the Hall of Famers on there. We haven't had a chance to do all that yet, but
you guys are young.
We're still young, and there's still a lot of guys on that team that are in the league right now and getting paid, getting second contracts, balling, Pro Bowls, all pros. We would have been tough to beat for sure.
Joe, you're confusing, man, because I joke with you about, like, you kind of try to be emotionless, but you're so passionate about so much stuff. And you come out with the chains on, you got the Slim Shady hair now, but then you're just, like, you don't get, like, is it you? Like, is that your persona, or is it something you're fighting? Because you seem like you want to be wild, but I don't know if I can be wild.
Yeah, I feel like I've always expressed myself in different ways than, like, my actual personality. Like, I've always worn interesting clothes or interesting hats. I've always done different stuff with my hair, but my personality is always just like this. So I just have always expressed myself in different ways than other people, I feel like.
Contracts are the difficult part of the NFL. And you've experienced great success playing with Jamar. It's sort of been a hold-in, throughout training camp. Just how important is he to overall team success, but also the connection that you guys share? How important is that to you specifically in the way that you play?
Yeah, it's really important. He's one of the best in the game, and he shows it every Sunday. He's shown it from the second he stepped foot on the field at LSU. There's not a lot of people like him. And the chemistry and relationship that we've developed since our first year, you know when you're playing with somebody for a long time and you develop that communication that you don't even really have to communicate. You give them a look because you've seen this look before, and you're like, hey, do it. Yeah. And you're both on the same page. You don't have to signal it. You don't have to do anything else. And the efficiency of communication is something that I think is underrated when you're playing with somebody for a long time. And that's what you have to develop with new guys. There's only 40 seconds on the play clock. And when you can change things on the fly quickly, that's something that, you don't get with a lot of people because you don't get to play with a lot of people for that long.
Well, you also, Tyler is now in Tennessee. Joe is now in Houston. They were both part of an extremely explosive core of offensive players that you did so well sort of just pushing the ball to, putting in the right positions, and those guys also worked with you well. What is it going to be like to have to replace those dudes, and how have you approached that so far in training camp?
Yeah, those guys aren't easy to replace, but the guys that are stepping in that role, I'm really excited about. 3 of our running backs are going to be really good players. Chase and Zach have really stepped up in the absence of Joe, and they're going to have big years. You can't replace TB with just one guy.
Yeah.
It'll be a committee of guys that are going to go in there and take the place of that production and that role. But we have guys that we feel really confident in that can go in and do that.
And with that too, so you're changing pieces, also changing offenses. You got the new coordinator now. As a top, and you can argue all day, top 5 quarterback in this league. We go at it all the time about it. Changing offenses. Is it that hard for somebody that, like you're saying, understand there's only so many damn post 9s, 7s, cut routes, snag 7s. Like it's the same thing. Like for you to learn a new offense with knowing that you can make every throw, how difficult is that, or how do you make that adjustment?
It's not gonna, Pitch has been with us since I got in the league, and so our offense is the same. We're just adding some new wrinkles, doing some different things within the structure that we've already built. And so we have some new terms, but nothing crazy. And then, like you said, football is football. There's not a lot of new concepts out there. So once you've seen enough, you know what concept you're thinking of, and then you can just translate it at that point.
And then you're not young anymore. Hell, you just hit the ass in the head. So once you make $250 million, you're the man. How much control do you have? I'm gonna say control over the offense, but how much do they look to you? How much do they, say, hey, Joe, what do you like about this? What do you like about that? And try to mold it to what the star quarterback loves.
That's what I've loved about being here. I've felt ownership and input from day one. And I don't think that's normal in this league. All of our coaches played quarterback, know what it takes to play quarterback, and they know that your quarterback has to be really confident in the things that you're doing on the field and the concepts if you want to be successful. And so even when I was a rookie, I felt that I had ownership in what we were doing. And if I ever went out and made a check and I didn't work and I came back on the sideline, I never got cussed out. It was always, why'd you do this? Maybe it was this look, this would have been better. And so I really couldn't have asked for a better situation to come into, providing me with all the weapons we had, organization, making all these changes to this facility, giving me ownership in the offense. It's been great.
Not many quarterbacks can say they're 2-0 versus Patrick Mahomes in the regular season and 1-1, and also beat him to take your team to the Super Bowl. When it comes to that particular matchup, It reminds me a lot of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Like if this guy won, his team was going to the Super Bowl and vice versa. Is there anything extra or different you do in preparation for a matchup with someone like Patrick Mahomes?
No. I'm treating every game the same. I think you have to do that as a quarterback if you want to be consistently successful, and I think that's what separates the great ones from the good ones is everybody can go out and have a great week. It's can you have 17 really, really good games throughout the season and put together 2 or 3 of those seasons in a row. I think that's what's difficult because defenses change and evolve from year to year. Your offense changes and evolves from year to year, and how are you going to adapt as a player to go and attack that defense that has changed? I think the number one thing you got to be is adaptable, and that goes from series to series, play to play, game to game, season to season, and that's something that I think about a lot.
I asked someone else that was on our show. I also asked RC this because he's won a Super Bowl and he's lost a Super Bowl. For you, does it suck more to not make it or to make it and lose?
Probably not make it.
I
would say that loss gets harder as time goes, because right after it happens, 2021, we thought we were going to be good, but we weren't sure. We had the 5th pick the year before, and all of a sudden we start balling at the end of the year. We were 5-4 at the bye and scratching and clawing for a playoff spot, and then all of a sudden we start balling at the end of the year and find ourselves in the Super Bowl. Right. And obviously we wanted to go out and win that, and it didn't happen. But after that, it was like, we got several more years together. We're going to get this done. And then, a couple years later, it doesn't happen. And so then, it starts to get harder. But every year is a new year, and we're going to go attack it.
How often do you think about that late pressure from Aaron Donald? We've all seen the picture.
I think about it too much. Yeah, I think about it too much.
What are the actual thoughts of that last play?
It was more so the fourth quarter, like all the series of events leading up to it. There's so many things that could have gone our way, didn't go our way, ended up going their way. A call here, a call there, and ball didn't bounce our way that day. Yeah, sometimes it goes like that.
Yeah, and there was a lot of reasons I called you my quarterback. I remember it was training camp, 2019. You guys are 7-on-7 indoors. You hit Jamar on the pass. I'm standing next to a Seattle scout. And we look at each other, and I was like, whoa. Next one, you hit Jettas on the seam, and I was like, that's what it's supposed to look like. I go on Matt Moscona that day. I was like, bro, Joe Burrow is going to be crazy this year. I think after the first week, everybody's Trevor Lawrence. I was like, Joe Burrow's going to win the Heisman. And obviously getting an opportunity to watch you play, it's my alma mater. I was just excited that my school had you as a quarterback, but also that team and the excitement around it. But you did something once you got to the league that made me love Joe Burrow, the person. DJ Reader actually mentioned a story you told about an AAU teammate that dealt with some racism when you were younger. And you also immediately in 2020, after George Floyd, just implored people to listen and said that the community needed your help. Can you tell me a little bit about how maybe even that experience in AAU helped you be prepared for a time as such to say, hey, look, the black community needs allies, and we should try to work to be one of those?
Yeah, I remember the story that I told. It was actually after a football game.
Football game, okay.
Yeah, and it was, growing up where I grew up, southeastern Ohio, Appalachia, it's a very underprivileged community. There's not a lot of black folks in that area. And so you see a lot of hate in certain places. That's not easy to see your friend going through something like that. And so that really affected me during that time. And so I've seen it from when I was little. And so when you see it affect somebody like that, I think you kind of have a different perspective on it than the majority of the population, I would say. Because I would say a lot of people haven't seen it and lived it, and that's not an easy thing to go through. And so I always just try to help in any way that I can. And I think with the platform that we have, not necessarily a responsibility, but I think you're not doing everything that you can for the world and for the people that you care about if you're not helping in some way.
Joe, it's 2020. You have won the Heisman. You're the first overall pick. And there are a lot of people that feel the way that you feel or may have even experienced it. But it's not a lot of people who would use their platform and risk the backlash that you could have received for that. What made you feel confident enough as a rookie quarterback on a new team to step out and be a voice for other people?
I don't know. I just was talking from the heart. I didn't really think about it like that. I just, it made me emotional. It made me, it hit me hard. And I just said things that I was thinking and feeling at the time. I didn't really think about backlash or should I do this, should I not. I just thought it was something that I was feeling and that should be heard.
And speaking on, I guess, hot button topics, divisive topics or something that, like RC's talking about, you don't run away from. Do you even think about the side of the criticism I might get from people about this? Because it seems like you're saying, if I feel it in my heart, I'm gonna say what I feel about a situation, but you are one of the biggest faces, top athletes in the world as well. Do you think about the other side?
You think about it, but if there's one thing that doesn't affect me, it's criticism about who I am as a person. I know who I am. I know what I believe in. And so, criticism about my game, that hurts sometimes. But criticism about who I am as a person, what I do, what I wear, that never affects me because I know who I am and I'm confident in who I am and what I'm about.
Does that come from your family? Because you got a strong Burrow family that I've read about.
I would say that for sure. Definitely. Yeah. We're definitely our own people.
Well, Joe, why don't you let your parents come to your house on Saturday before the game while you're there?
That's game time. That's a different, once Saturday hits, that's a different Joe now. And I love my parents and want to be present with them. But when it's time to get ready for a game, I might not be the most pleasant person to be around, and I don't have a lot of myself to give to anybody else. And so I want to go through my process. I want to go through my thoughts. I want to be alone with my thoughts and thinking about what I need to think about to go out and succeed on Sundays.
Was that an understanding or a conversation I had to have? Because we all remember, we've talked about it, that transition from your son to a grown-ass man who y'all gave birth to, too. Was that a conversation you had to have where, Mom, I love you, Dad, I love you, but when I turn into that different Joe, you might not want to be here for that.
Yeah, they understood it, but it was a conversation that needed to happen. But my dad was coach for a long time. He gets it. Yeah. My mom's been around sports from when I was little. She knows how I am before and after games. I mean, she was driving me to an hour to AAU practice on a random Wednesday night. So she understands how serious I take things and how emotional I get about, things that I care about. So they got it.
Say, bro, I'm gonna be honest, dog. This training camp tour has really let me know it's important about how you find your colleagues, your co-workers, employees, employers. Before I got locked up with y'all, I should have went on LinkedIn Jobs and maybe looked for some other folks. I mean, and maybe they're not even looking for this job. Shoot, 70% of the people on LinkedIn Jobs ain't looking for jobs at the time they get hired because this ain't working out.
Man, come on now. You know LinkedIn works. 86% of small businesses find a qualified employee in the first 24 hours. Y'all know we got to go on there. I'm going on there. I need me some more jobs. Y'all know I love me a job.
Look, over 2.5 million small businesses are already using LinkedIn. One more won't hurt. LinkedIn make the hiring process that much easier for you.
And LinkedIn makes it easy. They even have a new feature that will help you write your job description. So they're going to help you get a job. They're going to get it for you. Y'all know what LinkedIn is going to do. 86% of small businesses get their qualified employee.
And listen, I'm probably going to be on there too, because the way that this training camp tour is going, tired as I am, not only of them, but of the whole thing, I'm about to get my profile ready. So you can go on linkedin.com/pivot podcast for free right now and load up your bio. LinkedIn.com/pivot podcast and look for RC. I'm going to have a small picture. It ain't going to be big. We see y'all.
You want to work for me?
No.
Talk legacy for a moment. It's hard to argue that you're the best quarterback ever in the history of LSU football. I think that's pretty much a staple. When the game's all said and done and you retire in 2040, how do you want to be remembered, and what type of impact you hope to leave on the game of football and then this community here in Cincinnati?
Yeah, I hope that I have a couple Super Bowls, a couple MVPs, but I just want my teammates to remember me as a good teammate. That's what, the reason that it's so easy to come in and work so hard and grind through the season and lift and get up early and come into random Wednesday 7:30 protection meeting is because you love your teammates, you love being around them, you love being around your coaches, you love being around everybody in the facility. That's really why I do what I do, why I work so hard. Obviously for personal success, but because I want to be the best that I can be for the guys in the locker room. And I think being a great teammate is something that I really think about.
We sat down with Anthony Richardson and asked him what advice was shared with him by Peyton Manning. And he said, sometimes you just got to be an asshole. Your leadership style, are you that asshole sometimes?
I try not to be. Sometimes I get a little frustrated. I try to go compose myself before I have any conversations. I don't, maybe I get to that point when I'm a little older. I just try to be close enough with the guys that I need to have the conversations with that we can have a productive conversation one-on-one as teammates and friends. Like, hey, I think if you do this, you're going to get open and the higher chance that you're going to get the ball against a certain look.
Right.
I don't think that cussing somebody out is really the best way to go about it. And you have to know your teammates well enough to understand what kind of conversation you need to have with them. Some guys respond better to getting cussed out. Some guys respond better to talking to them right on the field. Some guys respond better to eating lunch with them and bringing up, hey, remember that rep from the other day?
Yeah.
And so you have to understand your teammates well enough to know that about them.
Speaking of understanding and knowing your teammates, to say going from Columbus, Ohio to Baton Rouge, Louisiana is a culture shock is actually an understatement. And the group of individuals that LSU recruits, when you talk about from the bottom of New Orleans to the top of Shreveport, it's a different human. Mm-hmm. What was that adjustment like for you? And also, how has it helped you learn to ingratiate yourself into a locker room and have some of those conversations you were talking about?
Yeah, I had no idea what the hell everybody was saying for the first 2-3 months. So I would just be like, yeah, I had no idea.
They're like, he's so agreeable.
Yeah. So I had to figure out the dialect a little bit. Coach O, obviously pretty unique dialect, so that was difficult at the beginning, but I always just try to be myself, and I think guys can pick up on that and appreciate that, and when somebody's like that, then it's pretty easy to assimilate into any culture or locker room that you need to. Yeah. I would say I learned a lot being at Ohio State and not being the quarterback. If I had started early, I would have felt like I had to be a certain kind of way as the starting quarterback, and I might have changed my mindset a little bit on that, but I was just a guy for 3 years, and so then I was just a guy in the locker room. I was just myself, and realized that people really appreciate that. So that's just what I try to do.
I saw the throw. You rolled to the right. You pushed it down the sideline. In conversations we had, you talked about every new throw, every new angle, every new space you'd be in would be an adjustment from being injured. When I saw that throw, I was like, hell, that looks like Joe to me. How confident are you in where you are now and where you'll be starting the season as compared to the Joe Burrow we're used to see play at an all-pro level?
I think I'm better right now. I think mentally I'm faster. I think my body is bigger, faster, stronger this year. My wrist is coming along. When you're coming back from an injury like that, you get so much better every single day, every single rep. You're basically relearning how to move your wrist and throw again, which is always a process that I enjoy and I'm excited about because I love the feeling of getting better. And when you're injured, the beginning, you're getting so much better so quickly. And then there's a little plateau, couple months where it's like, I haven't really felt like it's improved much. And then all of a sudden there's another spike in how you're feeling and how much better you're getting. And then this is my first training camp in 2 years. I was limited in 2021, and then 2020 was COVID. So these are reps that I haven't had for the last 3 years, really. And so I just feel myself getting so much better every single day, and that's what I love about the process and football and the grind is when you feel yourself improving, that builds momentum to go back and continue to do it, continue to grind, because you can feel that paying off. And that's what I love.
You were top in high school, won the damn Heisman, get to the league, drafted first round. Through that entire process, the injury, the transfers, all that, was there any time, because I think top athletes don't speak about it, they don't want to admit it, but time where you doubt yourself or time where you question, where Joe questioned Joe?
Yeah, I mean, at Ohio State, I was definitely questioning myself because I thought, like, I'm working so hard in the weight room, I'm playing really well in practice, and I felt like nobody was really taking notice of that or seeing the improvement or how I was playing in practice. And so I was like, do I have a warped sense of myself and how I'm playing or what kind of quarterback that I am? So that was definitely tough, those 3.5 years. You know, I had so much confidence in the work that I was putting in off the field and the growth that I was having, but I feel like not a lot of people had confidence in me at that point. And really all I had, like we talked about earlier, was the confidence in myself and the work that I was putting in would eventually come to light and pay off. And thank God it did.
Yeah.
Joe, we finally got access to the white party. Channing and I couldn't make it because I was busy. Channing was off with his boys doing something. Your relationship with Mike Rubin and Fanatics, is that your one big off-season splurge? You be clean as hell. You be
Try to
the T. I know RC tried to outdo you this year, but do you really enjoy being in that environment, or is that just kind of like, Ruben's my boy, I'm gonna show up just because?
No, I do enjoy that.
Okay.
You know, Michael, we're good friends, so he's a great person and friend, but I've made a lot of friends through those events, and it also gives me access to talk to people that have been in the position that I've been and have handled growth and success before, and things that I'm going through currently, changes in life and how to handle that. And so whenever you can be around people that have been there and done that and ask them questions about how to handle life, how to handle the game, how to handle fame, you know, those are really valuable conversations for me to grow and evolve as a person, I would say.
Imagine me. I wake up Saturday morning. Like, the one thing I ask you, Jamar, Livy, Odell, the freaking photographer at the white party, I say, hey, bro, I don't really care how many pictures you take of me. I just need a picture with all the LSU people, right? So imagine my surprise. I go home and like, golly, we, as a collective, never took the LSU picture, because that was my thought, that it never happened. And so when they assembled you all, like the Avengers, we had talked pretty much all night. You never looked around and went, damn, RC ain't here. Because I wake up and I see, why not LSU? And it's Odell and Jamar and Joe and Livy. So I go look at my suitcase and like, damn, did I not go to the white party? I saw the white outfit. So in no time, bro, did you look left or right and realize that I wasn't there?
I was walking by and I got grabbed and pulled into a picture. That's all I know. That's all I know.
Hey, I woke up like, God. I asked for one thing.
You thought Joe was gonna talk about Ryan?
Yeah, I did.
Would that have made you the only defensive guy?
In the picture?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe that's why.
But bro, so I didn't post my picture till later. Everybody asking me, dang, the boys ain't look for you for the picture? No, I'm asking them now. Clearly they didn't. Joe, man, I know you have to go first off, and thank you so much again, man,
Yes, sir.
for your time. You mentioned some of your goals to Fred, and I understand that those goals are those long-term goals. But when you look at this year, not even from a goal individual standpoint, what do you feel needs to be accomplished within this locker room to really uphold the standard that has been set since you were drafted and some of those pieces were put around you?
The way that I think about day-to-day goals now are just do whatever you need to do to get better that day. And if you do that, you'll reach the mountain goals, like the headline goals that you want to reach. The way that I think about that now is if you just wake up and get better today. And I caught myself the other day in practice. I was like, it's hot. I'm tired. It's a long practice today. It's a Sunday. Everybody else is sleeping. And then I snapped myself out of it. I was like, wake the fuck up, Joe. It's time to get better. And I don't think a lot of people really take advantage of every rep that they can throughout the day, whether it's individual or 7-on-7 or team. You know, each rep throughout the day is unique and you learn so much from it. All you got to do is just embrace that and get better every day, and you'll get to where you want to get to.
Yeah, man, I'm forever a fan. I am very salty though about the picture.
We'll get it.
Y'all grown men.
Huh?
You worried about that man taking a picture with you? Y'all are grown up.
But it was a group of people that took the picture.
And you weren't a part of the group.
But man, I just want to say though, but thank you for your time, bro. I thought it was just good of you and very kind of you to sit with us. Best of luck this season, bro. Cheering for you, rooting for you.
Thanks,
you need
man.
anything, man, I got you.
Appreciate that.
All right, brother.
Sir.
For sure. Hey, dog, when I woke up, like legit.
He was really hurt.
I was really hurt. Hey, Sam, because like as the old dude, like those things are important. Like they matter to me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
He's just riding around like he
Ask
said.
Odell about that one.
Hold up, limitless. Niggas to me got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Niggas to me got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.